I was concerned that the vendor thing happening was going to be...
I guarantee that happens all the time.
Yeah, she's like, it happens all the time, no big deal. Well, actually, she's like, next year what we'll do, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, perfect.
Fucking love that.
No, put that back over you.
Not that.
Part of the bit.
No, it's not part of the bit. Yes, this is going to be the least professional
it's
interview ever.
Someone is going to say something stupid over this, and it's going to be hilarious.
So the blooper reel is going to be crazy. The blooper reel.
I'm Tom Schultz. I am the event coordinator for Tampa Bay Coffee and Art Festival.
So I'm Justin. I'm the roaster coordinator for the Tampa Bay Coffee and Arts Festival.
So this year was your biggest year to date. How'd the event go?
I didn't sleep for the past 3 days, so it went good. Now the roasters had a good time. Artists got to have a lot of people out to their tables and everything like that. Attendees had a good time from what I heard from people. So overall, I thought it was a good event, and most amount of people we've ever had. So
yeah, when it first started, it was a little slow. Just at first, people were trickling in, and I was like, oh no, I hope we got enough people here for all these vendors that we brought. And then 2 hours in, you couldn't walk around inside without bumping into somebody. So I was talking to all the vendors. Actually, I'll tell you, every time you come to an event, it's a stressful time when you're loading in and all that kind of stuff. And we're on edge, everyone's on edge, and they're saying some stuff, whatever. And then, you know, after like 4 hours into the event, you go and talk to that same vendor, and they're like, hey, so listen, I'm sorry if I was a little cranky earlier. I had quite a few of those. Not to say I had quite a lot of the negative experiences. No, but I had a lot of vendors that were like, "Yeah, this is great," and so that was pretty exciting. Because for us, really, like if the vendors aren't doing well, then the event isn't doing well. What we're trying to do is make sure that every one of those entities is having an experience that is worthwhile for them. Unless that happens for most people at the event, it wasn't a success for us. But it sounds like, judging by most responses we've got, that for most people, that was the experience they had. It was positive for attendees, it was positive for vendors, and it was positive for us. So
yeah, people came up to myself when I was running the merch table, along with doing the vendor or the art or words. I haven't slept in days. When I was doing the roaster stuff, people came up to me and gave some honest feedback. Nothing rude or mean or anything, but just like things to consider for future. We're gonna take all those things into consideration when it comes to next year and everything like that. There's growing pains, and we're gonna make it better.
Well, so the thing that's awesome about what you said is that a lot of the people that were coming up and saying stuff, like constructive criticism, they were like, this event was good, and here's the things that it could make it better. It was very much we want to help the event be even more awesome than it already is. It's like a very caring thing from what I've experienced. Yeah. So it wasn't just complaining for complaining's sake or anything like that. It was very much like, this event's really cool. If you fix this, it'd be even better. So
I can imagine that growing to this size and doing this like this, it's a tall order, you know? So take me back to the beginning.
I don't remember who had the idea, but the lore behind this was, it was me, Tom, and a couple of other people, and we sat in a room at the church where we first hosted the event at. And we were just talking, because we all love coffee. Most of us had worked for the coffee company with the siren for a while, and we were just like, dude, why don't we do some event where we just have people come out, get a coffee roaster, have some art, some vendors or whatever, kind of small, chill type thing. We weren't expecting any more than like 100 people. We partnered with Zeal Coffee Roasters, who their shop is called The Lab out in Tampa. So we put up a Facebook event page, went to bed. Woke up. We woke up to, it was like 1,000 people interested and a couple hundred people going, and we were like, oh, and I called him and I was like, did you look at the event page? And it was in the morning, and he doesn't wake up in the morning. And I was like, you need to wake up and look at the event page. And he looked at it, he was like,
what the fuck?
And then I called Zeal, and I was like, hey, this is, the only words I could think to say was, hey, this is a thing now. And he was like, what do you mean? And I was like, there's 1,000 people interested in this event, and we posted it like 8 hours ago. And he went, what? Because overnight, literally 1,000 people interested. And it ended up being a thing. They were the only roaster. There was a couple hundred people at it. And that's how Tampa Bay Coffee and Art Festival was born.
So you've scaled quite a bit over the years to be able to do this.
Yeah, we're at the freaking fairgrounds.
Tell me a little bit about that. How did you guys get it to this grow? So
Here you go, Mr. Guy.
you were telling me what, 8x or something like that?
Yeah.
Dude. Wow.
So, so we were.
It's gonna go viral.
Yeah, so we were doing it for a few years, and then COVID hit, so we took a couple years off. We brought it back in 2022, and then I ended up taking over it in 2023. At first, it was kind of like we got some traction in 2022. You know, and not as many as not the viral impact that we had before. In 2023, we had a good turnout, and then around 2023, my personal business that I owned kind of went sideways. And so I was kind of in the midst of like, well, what am I doing? Also, like, this business failed and I can never let this happen again. So I actually just took a deep dive into marketing. Like, so I was reading all kind of marketing books, that kind of stuff. And then come 2024, and I had read all this material, and I was like, hey, we got to try some of this stuff. So we started it. We had a modest budget, and that was even better. And we're like, okay, well, that kind of works. So we tried it again for the next one, and it was night and day, the difference. And then it got to the point where in 2024, we had to move for the hurricane. And then because of moving for the hurricane, we actually decided that we were going to have an event. We're going to reschedule it for a month later, and then we were going to do another one 6 months later for anyone who couldn't make it to that. We started promoting those events. We got to the point with both of those events where we had to like de-promote the event. So we were like, hey, do not come to this event. Tickets are sold out. If you show up, we will not be able to provide you with anything. So we were like, the first time we were like, okay, maybe it was a fluke. So like, let's just try it one more time, see what happens. Again, we had the same problem. So we're like, okay, we got to move this. It's like, obviously, we don't want to keep de-promoting this. It's like, let's put as much we can into it and make it happen. So that's when we decided, we're like, all right, we got a quote from the fairgrounds. And it was like more than we had ever paid for pretty much any one thing. Do we do it? Do we not? And we're like, well, we have concepts and we've tested them. We have tried and true methods that we're using now that are consistent. So let's just do it. Like, fuck it, we ride. So we decided we were going to do it. We ended up pulling the trigger on it. And the money that we got from the spring event we used to book this one. It took everything that we were doing before, and it was like marketing for getting vendors. Because there's a lot that had to come together from the marketing side, because you got to get vendors, you got to get attendees. There's a number of things you have to market for. Pulling all those together and having methods that were repeatable to be able to execute on those really helped us. Honestly, as good, if not better than we expected. So.
Yeah.
Why coffee and art?
So the thing about coffee and art is that they really do go hand in hand. You go to a coffee shop, there's art on the walls, and like when you're like looking at art, what goes better with looking with like at art than a cup of coffee? So that's why like we brought the two together, and no one was really doing that. There's 1,000,001 like art events, and there's a bunch of different coffee conventions and festivals, but they didn't really combine the two. And we didn't want to just focus on one, we wanted to incorporate both. So that's why we did it. It's a great blend of people, because they're both artisan, they're both craft. People creating something that they love, and we're combining them together and bringing people together to show off what they love. So yeah, that's why coffee and art. Who's calling you?
Is there anyone available to make grab stuff from the truck table and bring it back inside?
Chris and I are doing an interview right now, so.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, all right, love you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Are you guys going to get back?
So, the plan that we have moving forward is, well, so the fairgrounds, what's really cool about the fairgrounds is that unless your event like totally tanks or drop the ball somehow, they save your spot for the next year. so automatically for like a month, and you can take it or not, whatever. And I just talked to our event contact, Brooke. She was saying she seemed really stoked on it. Was even talking about stuff for next year. So unless like an act of God. Yeah, we'll be doing it next year. No, if you say unless this happens, then you offset the jinxing. You don't.
You're a little stitious. I'm superstitious.
Yeah, I'm only a little stitious. The short answer is you'll have to wait and see.
What was your favorite moment of the event?
Get on my level, brother. My favorite moment of the event was being able to. I have two. Being able to walk around with my wife and just enjoy the event after things kind of settled down a little bit. We were both running the merch table. Just being able to share those little quiet times with her for a little bit. And then the other one that was fun was my mom and dad came out, and just being able to introduce them to some of the roasters that I've made a really good connection with, and just seeing the love that they have for me, and they were sharing that love with my mom and my dad, because my mom and dad have always told me to follow my dreams. And yeah, so it was cool being able to give back to them, give them a couple of things here and there. So yeah, that was what it was for me.
So for me, the best part was my in-laws brought my newborn son. I'm tired. And
Yeah, tired. Yeah, whatever. I'm tired too. Yeah.
tired, so I'm emotional. I'm not saying I'm not emotional. Anyways, it's just doing this is like, especially after a rough couple of years and losing my business, it's kind of like, I'm like, what am I? And like, what do I contribute to the world now that I'm not doing the things that I'm passionate about? And so, there's definitely an existential crisis that comes with that. I mean, not to get too intense, but I mean, the suicide rate for men goes up exponentially at a loss of a job or a business. So. Just to see the hard work that I've been putting in come to this, when I was feeling worthless for a couple of years, and then having my son, my newborn son, come in, and like, one of the biggest events he's ever been to is something that his dad put on. Like Justin was saying, like, I want him to follow his dreams, his passions. So for him to see his dad doing that, even though he's a baby, there's that experience, and he had that, that was really cool for me.
Was he doing this whole thing with his neck? You see, the thing is, right? You need to have some good friends in your life. Good friends stick around through the hard times. And not so good friends to keep PG again see themselves out. So have good friends around that keep you grounded, help you dream, follow all your crazy dreams, and have fun along the way.
Both of you watched me crash out multiple times in the past 7 years.
Oh, I about crashed out three times today.
I just crashed out during this interview.
Enlightenment, dude. You just achieved nirvana in that moment.
He has reached his final form.
I'm glowing it.
Full cinematic 4K. If you want to get involved with next year's
Yeah, so if you want to get involved with next year Tampa Bay Coffee and Art Festival, you can go to our website, TampaBayCoffeeandArtFestival.com. We have applications for sponsors, vendors, high school art contest, college art contest, roasters.
I'm really glad your breath doesn't smell right now.
I've been flossing recently. So.
Hey, look at you.
So if you fit any of those categories, apply on our website. We'd love to hear from you. You can also reach us at tbcafl@gmail.com, and then you can hit us on any of our socials. The most reliable is to go through the applications because we check all of those every week. If you want to volunteer, there's a volunteer application on there as well.
Or you just show up, we'll put you to work.
Yeah, we would love to have more volunteers. You come and you can have some free coffee. You get into the event free. You work like a 4-hour shift, and then you get into the. You can
do whatever you want.
You can do whatever you want after that.
Within reason.
You cannot drive your car through the attendee area until after the event.
Yep.
We just need to make sure that's known across the board.
Yep.